Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Namaskar, welcome to Next IS. I hope you are doing well. In this video, we are going to cover major headlines of the Hindu, Indian Express, and Press Information Bureau. So, without wasting any time, let's start today's discussion. And your first article is related to Supreme Court's recent observations on free speech. And it is in the news because recently Supreme Court dismissed a criminal case against Congress MP who was accused by Gujarat police of inciting discord through his poem on suffering injustice with love. The court emphasized the protection of free speech through art, poetry, and satire, and it stated that such expression should not be seen as promoting hatred. The court also clarified that restrictions on free speech must be reasonable, not oppressive. And here you must know that Article 19 of the Indian Constitution guarantees the fundamental right to freedom of speech and expression, but this right is subject to reasonable restrictions. Next article is related to Carriage of Goods by Sea Bill 2024, which was recently passed by the Lok Sabha to modernize maritime regulations and replace the Indian Carriage of Goods by Sea Act 1925. The bill retains the Act's provisions on responsibilities, liabilities, rights, and immunities for goods transported between ports. This bill also empowers the Union government to amend rules for bills of lading. And here you must know that maritime sector in India comprises of ports, shipping, shipbuilding, ship repair, and inland water transport systems. In India, there are total 12 government-owned major ports and approximately 217 minor and intermediate ports. And friends, Indian shipping industry has played a crucial role in the maritime sector of India's economy. And approximately 95% of country's trade by volume and 70% by value is moved through maritime transport. Next article focuses upon Electronics Component Manufacturing Scheme, which was recently approved by the Cabinet for 6 years to boost domestic manufacturing. This scheme focuses on passive components and sub-assemblies and it is aimed to increase value addition. Now the incentives will be based on factory turnover and job creation, not production linked. And this scheme targets components like circuit boards, hardware enclosures and lithium-ion batteries. And friends, electronic is one of the highest traded and fastest growing industries globally, and it is expected to play a pivotal role in shaping global economy and advancing a country's economic and technological development. Next article is related to Tigers Outside Tiger Reserve project, which is being finalized by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change to monitor tiger population outside tiger reserves, reduce poaching, address human-animal conflict, and improve habitats. This project will focus on monitoring and conflict resolution, particularly in areas like Wayanad, Chandrapur, and Pilibhit. And friends, tigers are the largest Asian big cats and they primarily use sight and sound for hunting. Currently, India has an estimated 3,628 tigers, and the tiger population is distributed across landscapes of Shivalik Hills, Terai Plains, Central Indian Highlands, Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats, Northeastern Hills, Brahmaputra Plains, and Sundarbans. Next article highlights the issues related to India's cotton industry, which has seen a significant decline in production over the past decade due to combination of domestic policy failures, particularly in the regulation of genetically modified crops. Between 2002-3 and 2013-14, India's cotton output tripled, and here India's rise as a cotton producer was driven by advances in breeding technology, including the development of hybrid cotton varieties and genetically modified BT cotton, which significantly boosted yields. But policy paralysis and moratorium on GM crops after 2010, influenced by the environmental activists, led to stagnation in technological advancements. As a result, India has shifted from being the world's top cotton producer to a net importer, and lack of access to advanced technologies has left Indian farmers at a disadvantage, and global competitors like US and Brazil have benefited. Next article talks about assets disclosure of judges, and it is in the news because recent discovery of large sum of cash at the residence of Delhi High Court judge has sparked concern about the corruption within India's higher judiciary, and this is reigniting debates about the need for the public disclosure of judges' assets and liabilities. Here you must know that in 1997, the Supreme Court of India mandated that judges disclose their assets to Chief Justice, but this was not a call for public disclosure. In 2009, Supreme Court made asset disclosure voluntary, and some high courts follow the suit. And friends, as of March 2025, only about 13% of High Court judges have publicly declared their assets. Many High Courts, such as Uttarakhand, have rejected calls for public disclosure, and several have refused to write to information requests related to judges' assets. In response, a parliamentary committee recommended mandatory disclosure in 2023, but no action has been taken till now. And here you must know that in contrast, other public servants, including union ministers and members of parliament, are required to disclose their assets, and such information is accessible through the RTI Act, and candidates for elections must publicly declare their assets with detailed declaration required by law. Next article is related to Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, And it is in the news because recently Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs chaired by the Prime Minister approved the inclusion of Kosi Mechi Intra-State Link Project under the Pradhan Mantri Krisi Sinchai Yojana. It aims to divert surplus water from the Kosi River to extend irrigation in Bihar's Mahananda Basin. Talking about Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, it is a centrally sponsored scheme which was launched in 2015-16 and it aims to improve water access for farming, expand irrigated areas, enhance water use efficiency, and promote water conservation. Next article is related to exercise Indra, and it is in the news because 14th edition of the India-Russia bilateral naval exercise Indra will take place from March 28 to April 2nd. This exercise was started in 2003 and it has strengthened naval cooperation between the two countries. It includes a harbor phase and sea phase, and this exercise aims to enhance interoperability, share best practices, and strengthen diplomatic ties. Now, next and last headline is related to Trade Watch quarterly report, which was recently released by Niti Aayog. And according to this report, India's total trade grew by 5.67% in April-September 2024. Here, exports increased by 5.23% and import rose by 6.07%. Here, you must know that India ranked 6th in global textile exports. And friends, Trade Watch quarterly report provides a comprehensive view of India's trade position, sectoral performance, and emerging opportunities and challenges. So with this, let's conclude today's discussion. Thanks for listening, and for regular updates, you can follow us on various social media platforms.